Well, let's also remember those survivors today. They are also impacted and still feeling this trauma. They witnessed the carnage, the massacre inside that school, inside Marjorie Douglas Stoneman High School on the day this horrible event happened. 3 students opened up for the first time to our anchor, Roxanne Vargas, about how that trauma has in fact infected and impacted them and how it still haunts their lives 5 years later.
So many noises, like when I hear something loud, that's where my head goes.
Her head goes back to her classroom, February 14, 2018.
Everything that I remember from that day still makes me very sad.
Now 5 years later, Bruna Arenales says, as time passes, she remembers some moments less and less. Though she says it's how her brain helps her cope. But still, there is nothing that can completely erase what she saw, what she still feels.
Every time I walk into a classroom, in college especially, because it's so big and there's so many people and so much, if you think about it, it's so much easier for something like that to happen in a university than it should be in a high school.
Teachers certainly make an impact on our lives. Scott Beagle certainly made one on Bruna. She says he was her favorite teacher. He was different. He was funny, sarcastic. Bruna says she's shy, but she connected with him.
It was really, really hard. And at first, when it first happened, and like him being shot right in front of me, at first my brain just couldn't comprehend that it was real.
Like most survivors we hear from, Bruna thought this was a drill.
The day that I cried the most was the day of his funeral, because I even wrote something, because I would have, sorry. It was the only funeral that I went to, and I even wrote something. But I didn't have the courage to go up there and say anything, because I remember seeing how loved he was after what everyone had to say about him.
She may have sat quietly then, but today she still wears his name on her wrist, Scott's name on this bracelet. Lorena Sanabria speaking out for the first time since the shooting.
I think about the me that I would have been if it never happened, and I think about, and I compare it to the person that I am now. 2 very different people, I think.
Like Bruna, Lorena too is hyper aware every room she walks into. She also credits professional help and coping, and she finds solace in sharing her experience to make positive change. Jose Hoyos also looks over his shoulders.
Eating at restaurants, eating with my family, there could be a loud noise, and I relatively get really scared.
Jose has found healing through writing. He writes about what he knows and what he's seen.
Sorrow is one of the biggest things that comes to me when writing.
Putting pen to paper, especially when asked, "Oh, you were in that school?" or when this date comes around again and takes him back to that quiet corner of a packed TV production classroom.
We were 90 to 80 kids stuck in a room thinking that the shooter was going to come towards our way. We also thought it was fake, that it was just a drill.
Jose, Lorena, Bruna, 3 lives out of countless more forever changed. And we're grateful to those 3 survivors for opening up for the first time on what they experienced on that day 5 years ago today. They all credit family, friends, faith, and professional help for coping and for moving forward. Trina, back out to you.